The following podcast is brought to you by Pro Wrestling Connect, Australia's newest choice for event management and brand development specializing in pro wrestling.
And now, the B Plus Wrestling Podcast. Watch global. Support local. It's the B Plus Wrestling Podcast.
The moves.
B plus.
Check it out! Here we go! You wanna mess with us? Cause we're steady on the ground.
Alright, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to another B Plus podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Wednesday. You know what that means. It's time for the King of Sportscast, where we sit down and talk about everything happening in the King of Sports universe, which is, of course, Ring of Honor, CMLL, New Japan Pro Wrestling, I guess kind of NWA sometimes. I don't know. It's weird. Joining me, as he does, Big Boy Mikey. How you doing, brother?
Good, buddy. And yeah, I don't know. We technically have, it's meant to be 4 parts of the King of Sports, but NWA have they're kind of Ring of Honor's new part of the Ring of Honor universe, I guess.
Right. I forgot to mention RevPro because we have absolutely nothing from RevPro this week.
No. They will pick up a little bit soon, a little bit later on in the year when they start picking up like Royal Quest and then their 7-year anniversary, which I know they just booked a fucking massive match, Park versus Matt Sydal, for the main event there, which I'm sure would just be another time limit draw. But
yeah, well, I don't know when is the 7-year anniversary, because Park has obviously Ben K just won the big tournament in Dragon Gate where he's going to be challenging now for the Dragon Gate Championship against Park. So by the time the 7-year anniversary rolls around, Park may no longer be the Dragon Gate champion, which means he may actually be able to have clean fucking finishes to his matches outside of Dragon Gate for
okay, well that makes it interesting because that's not until I think it's like the second week of August.
Yeah. So I'm not too up to date on my Dragon Gate schedule, so I can't tell you when the title match is, but I know that it's coming up, and all indications are that Ben K is taking that Dragon Gate title from Park, so Park's going to be free to finally do the AEW thing, do the Rev Pro thing, do all his UK indies and all that stuff. So, hopefully we get to see Park actually have finishes to matches soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I hope he hasn't burnt his bridges too much.
No, I don't think he has. I think everyone understood, like, when they started booking him, I'm pretty sure he would have made it explicit, like, Dragon Gate's my number one, they're where I debuted, they're where I'm spending most of my time, and I'm the champion, and I don't want to devalue the title. I think anyone booking him knows that going in, and I don't know what happened with the AEW thing, man, but that's for another podcast altogether. Yeah. I touched on NWA being part of the King of Sports universe. They were involved in Ring of Honor TV this week, so I'm going to break down Ring of Honor TV real quick. I know you don't watch it. I don't blame you. This week, Hiroki Goto took on Hikuleo, just standard big bopper match. Hikuleo, looked like he was going to win for a bit, but of course he doesn't. Goto wins. Then we get a Kenny King promo. This is pretty interesting, though. Kenny King's doing I told you about his best of 3 series with Jay Lethal.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so he's up 1-0 at the moment, and he got that win, you'll remember, by using the lethal injection.
I love when people use other people's moves like that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that they're spinning it into a full story now. So he's in this promo, he's saying that he's going to win again. He's going to close out the series after just 2 matches, which, let's be real, that never fucking happens. But he's going to close it out by winning with the lethal injection again. And then in the main event, he actually came out. We'll get to the main event in a second. But first, we have to talk about Kelly Klein and Jenny Rose taking on the Allure, which they'd advertised for TV this week. And then it doesn't fucking happen because they just jump them in the commercial break. And so we're watching commercials, and then we come back and they're like, by the way, guys, the match we just told you was about to happen, it's not happening because they got attacked during the commercial and the referee was like, we're throwing the match out for some reason. I don't know. It was fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Haven't they brought a nasty, I'm going to say nasty vibe, like a nasty, no, I'm going to say with the word vibe, a nasty vibe to Ring of Honor since they debuted and this whole Bully Ray stuff.
Wait, did you say nasty vibe or Nazi vibe?
No, nasty, as in.
Okay. Yeah, nasty vibe, sure. I guess it's, I don't know, just the whole Bully Ray, like the fact that the girls are all dating people that are on the booking team, it just kind of feels weird because they're not that great.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I don't like talking about that kind of thing, but it's like everywhere at the moment where everyone's just like, they're only getting booked because Bully Ray and Delirious and connections. And I don't know, but there's some sort of power struggle going on behind the scenes in Ring of Honor, but I'm so checked out with Ring of Honor that I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Look, for many years, Ring of Honor stood alone as the king of the Indies. I'll say, like, alongside PWG was the king of the Indies. Not everyone had access to PWG. More people had access to Ring of Honor.
PWG just did the DVD thing for like ever.
Yeah. But now with the rise of MLW, the rise of AEW, all these other brands out there that are challenging.
The fall of Impact.
Yeah.
Impact coming down to that level. Yeah.
Yeah. Now All Elite, obviously, like even technically NXT, if you want to face NXT against Ring of Honor, Evolve becoming bigger. It's just Ring of Honor is just now one of another American brand, and it's scary and sad at the same time because I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot going on at the moment. They're even bringing in NWA, like I mentioned. So
yeah,
we got a flashback here to the Crockett Cup with Villain Enterprises beating the Briscoes by DQ and Colt Cabana's defense against James Storm last week, which we didn't talk about because we had so much going on with Best of Super Juniors and stuff that we didn't really get a chance to look at Ring of Honor. But basically last week, Colt Cabana was defending the North American title against James Storm, but the whole thing fell to shit when the Briscoes attacked. And it's like they sort of start talking about like, NWA ain't shit, Ring of Honor for life, all this sort of stuff, which kind of feels weird for the Briscoes. I mean, I know that they are Ring of Honor loyalists, but the characters of the Briscoes to be bringing that Ring of Honor loyalty forward, I don't know. It just felt weird to me, but I guess that's where they're going with it. They're doing like an NWA versus Ring of Honor thing. And so they've announced Colt Cabana and Nick Aldis, so the two primary champions for NWA, are taking on the Briscoes at Best in the World. Then we move on, and Shinobi Shadow Squad take on Lifeblood with PJ Black. They're doing this whole thing of, is PJ Black going to join Lifeblood? Lifeblood it's really weird. Lifeblood wanted Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon was like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. I've got friends elsewhere, which is like really fucking weird. And then, so then PJ Black's like, can I join though? Can I join? And they're like, maybe. We'll see how things go. And so he's like having matches with them and like trying to be part of the group, and they're like kind of standoffish to PJ Black, which I don't get. PJ Black's putting out like mad daddy vibes, like let him in. Especially if the whole Juice Robinson thing is true.
Right. Well, yeah, that is something that I've read a few times in the last couple of days on different across Twitter, and it's a very, very interesting thing.
Yeah, so Juice may be done with Ring of Honor. It's only like Voices of Wrestling are talking about it, so it's probably got some legs, but there's no official word yet as to whether he's still with. But they sort of built the entire Lifeblood stable around him, and so if he's just piecing out, like, nah, I feel like Ring of Honor's like dragging down my image, which is what the rumors are saying. If that's what he's doing, then he's kind of left the whole Lifeblood thing in a lurch. Like that's pretty shitty.
Yeah, but like it also sort of like goes back to what we were talking about with Ring of Honor kind of dropping down a little notch in the last couple of months. Like are New Japan looking at getting out of this relationship already? Like,
well, I mean, we heard all the interviews with Michael Craven and stuff when he was here in Australia, and he was doing the podcast rounds. He didn't do our podcast, the only dedicated New Japan Pro Wrestling podcast in Australia. Thanks a lot, Michael Craven. Right. It's all about who you know. But we love those guys. But he was talking about, right, they're loyal. Like when they pick someone to be in a relationship with, that relationship is for life, like getting married or whatever. But you got to think that at this point, New Japan are basically the guy in that meme looking at the other girl.
Yeah,
you know the meme I'm talking about? Yeah, so it's New Japan are looking at All Elite Wrestling right now for sure, and Ring of Honor are just like, hey, hey, where are you going? Because it's pretty.
You know what? They can say that, but if New Japan treat that as like a marriage thing, they're the Jerry Lawler of marriage, because they have had so many. They have had so many marriages over the years, dating back to the 80s. Like they did WCW, WWF, back to WCW. Then did
So which wife is Ring of Honor then?
The seventh. I mean, they've had TNA for a while. I remember when friggin' Jeff Hardy, and that was And then as soon as Jeff Hardy had that drug thing, then they were like, "Nah, we're out. See ya."
Maybe New Japan are polyamorous. Who knows?
Fair enough.
So yeah, talk about like all the relationship stuff. I'm gonna shoehorn this in here because Mr. Mysterious gets to talk about all the fun stuff because he covers like All Elite Wrestling and what have you on all the rest on Sundays. Tune in. But John Moxley showed up at Northeast Wrestling.
Yeah.
Did you see this? And he like had a match with. Okay, so on one of the shows he had a match with Darby Allin, which by all accounts is fucking amazing. There's a fan cam going around that I haven't watched yet, but apparently they just beat the shit out of each other for like 20 minutes and everyone dies. But then he also had a match with Enzo and Kaz.
So strange.
Like what? Enzo and Kaz? I didn't know anyone like any like decent promotions were actually booking those dudes.
No. What are they called now? Enzo and Kaz XL.
Yeah, it's literally Enzo, like NZO, and Kaz XL. It's the worst name. It's like super 90s because it's like there's too many Z's. I have no idea what's going on. But apparently they're getting
other than the awkward stuff at Ring of Honor, Madison Square Garden, I don't think they'll be booked anywhere serious outside of like House of Hardcore or maybe.
So was that a shoot, the thing at Ring of Honor? Because like nothing's ever happened from it. So it must have like they actually just jumped the barricades like a bunch of kids.
My theory is Ring of Honor knew about it. They planned it. They realized how much heat they got from it and went, maybe we'll just sour until...
We'll just pretend that never happened. Yeah, maybe. But then, the main event on Ring of Honor TV this week, Jay Lethal taking on PCO, Jeff Cobb, and Roosh in a fatal four-way match. This was pretty much all Lethal. Like, everyone got their spots in. Matt Taven was on commentary because he's got a big match with Jeff Cobb coming up. And so Matt Taven's on commentary. And at one point, like, I'm sitting there watching the match and I'm just thinking to myself, this match feels like every other four-way match. Like, it's just so formulaic. And literally, right after I think that in my head, Matt Taven on commentary is like, these four-ways are so typical. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Don't say that on commentary. That's what I'm thinking. You're not meant to say. I love Matt Taven so much.
No, it's Taven's growing on me big time.
I told you he would. He's the voice of the people, man. That's someone else's gimmick. I don't know. Anyway, voice of the voiceless. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, ultimately, Jay Lethal's about to win, right? Like he hits the lethal injection, and then out comes Kenny King, and he's like, "That's my move. You can't take my move." And distracts Jay Lethal, and then Jeff Cobb slides in, hits the Tour of the Islands, and gets the win. The closing seconds was great, but the rest of the match was like I said, it's just like your standard four-way match. Dudes lay out, hit a signature spot, in comes the next guy, hits a signature spot, in comes the next guy. It was pretty boring. They hit the big tower spot, very formulaic, until the finish, where Kenny King comes out and he's like, "The lethal injection's my move now, bitch. What are you doing?" And Jay Lethal's just like, What is going on? And then he lost the match. It was great.
Oh, God. That's good. But good to see Cobb getting victories there. I hope Cobb doesn't think the same way as Juice.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like they've built Jeff Cobb up so well, but at the same time, I mean, because like he's lost the TV title without having to lose the match, all that sort of, like they're doing all the right things. But now he's going up against Matt Taven in one of Matt Taven's first big defenses, and it's like I don't want Matt Taven to lose yet, but Jeff Cobb is kind of in a can't lose position at Best in the World. So we'll look at the Best in the World card so far, which I mean we'll talk about this next week because it's next weekend Best in the World. But Colt Cabana and Nick Aldis taking on the Briscoes. We're going to get that Jenny Rose and Kelly Klein match against the Allure. Allegedly, we're going to get that match. We've been promised that match multiple times now, and it never happens. Silas Young and Jonathan Gresham, they're having a little thing with they're bringing back the Pure rules. I hope they bring back the title because Jonathan Gresham would be the perfect guy for that.
That was a really big time in Ring of Honor when they had that Pure title. Love that.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that a lot because Jonathan Gresham's my dude. Dalton Castle's taking on Dragon Lee, which hopefully Dragon Lee can drag a good match out of Castle because Castle's a broken man at this point. Flip Gordon and Roosh have a match. Shane Taylor is defending against Bandito, and then the world title, Matt Taven and Jeff Cobb. So we'll look at that more next week. But what was happening this week in Mexico before we get to New Japan? Tell us what your favorite place. You're doing a Loco podcast recording soon, yeah?
We'll do Loco this week because unfortunately it's not CMLL that's getting all the headlines in Mexico this week. It's AAA doing all the headlines from people nearly
Yeah, Laredo Kid and
from in-ring
Vikingo, right?
stuff to people jumping off scaffolds and nearly dying to
Almost
fans grabbing
dying.
Scarlet
Yeah.
Bordeaux and everything in between. So AAA is a hot mess as always. So that will be further in depth. But CMLL get to go under the radar and have fucking good matches as they always do. There's no silly flair about CMLL. There's none of that. It's just
There's no people
correct.
farting on commentary.
Yeah. So no, CML are in the middle of another tournament. CML like to get into their tournament, similar to, I guess, the Japanese scene. Depending on every promotion in Japan do these sort of things. CMLL are no different to these guys. At the moment, they're doing a Copa Dinastia. So I'm guessing that's. I don't know what that's in English, but it's basically the Family Cup. It's a Family Cup. So,
You really need to stop trying to pronounce
I know,
these words, man. Or take Spanish lessons, one or the other.
It's going to be the first. I do have a new Mexican best friend, so I'm hopefully going to try that. But no.
Right.
So they're in the middle of this. I'll just call it the Family Dynasty Cup tournament. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 6 teams. 6 teams. Last week we had Group A. La Becha Del Ring and Roosh, father and son, came out of that, beating Flyer and Volador Jr. in the final of that. Their brothers there. But this week, just went past, had an awesome tournament. So they do the quarterfinal and semi-finals in the one night. So they always, CMLL, every tournament that they do a battle royal for seeding, which I love. If you're going to do a tournament on screen, do a battle royal to do the seeding. Like,
yeah, I do like that.
Like we know it's all like pre-planned, but like make it look like it's not. Like, make it look like you actually earned that. So Dragon Lee won the battle royal on behalf of their team. So they don't have to wrestle until the second match, which gives them that one match advantage. So, so in a tournament this week, Angel de Oro and Niebla Rocha, the brothers there, defeated Los Guerreros, Gran and Ultimo Guerrero, so uncle and nephew there. Then Dragon Lee Mystico defeated Mascara Arno 2000 and Sanson. I think that's father and son there. The Dynamitas were represented on the other side with the two cousins. Then Angel de Oro and Niebla Roja defeated Dragon Lee and Mystico in the semi-final, so they will head to the final to face Roosh and La Bestia de Ring. I was really hoping Dragon Lee and Mystico would win because it'd be brother and brother versus father and son, which would be, brother and brother versus father and brother. But
Interesting.
for some reason, CMLL have never booked all 4 men in one ring, either against each other or as a team, but one day. But the coolest thing this week was seeing another Crash debut. So I think we talked about before I went on holidays. Crash and CMLL are doing some work together. And each Friday night, they've been bringing in one or two Crash guys. So a couple of weeks, they brought in Australia's very own Adam Brooks.
Yeah, Brooksy was a part of it, right? With
Mecha Wolf.
Mecha Wolf.
Yeah, because for some reason Adam Brooks is kind of somewhat a Crash roster member now. So
that's weird, right? Like something that it's probably something you'd talk more about on Loco, but just Crash is Conan.
No, Crash is Crash. Ray started Crash. Ray. No.
Oh, I thought it was Conan, so I was like, he's a AAA guy. That's weird that they're working with CMLL.
I think Conan had some influence with it, but I think they've all pulled out, and now Crash is a CMLL guy, like a CMLL ally. But yeah, they're picking up these one or two interesting, either Australian or American or British talents that they're sending over to Crash. And then, so this week, Austin Theory is one of my favorite dudes on the American indie scene. Like, he should be one of the first guys that AEW looked at. I love Austin Theory. I think more of
You say Austin weird, man. Do you say Steve Austin too?
Steve Austin? No, Steve Austin. Oh god, now I'm going to overthink this.
So it's Austin. So it's Austin Theory. It's
Lana
not Austin
Steve
Theory.
Austin. Hey, fuck, maybe I do. Anyway, Austin Theory debuted for.
It's like Liga Liga all over again.
Yeah,
we're gonna upset Ben.
But yeah, no, Theory was in the main event with Caristico and Volador Jr. tagged with them against Barbara Cavanario, Negro Cassis, and Roosh. Roosh still doing his CMLL thing. His Ring of Honor contract hasn't really meant much at all in terms of Roosh missing any Friday nights. But yeah, Theory picked up the win here actually for his team in the Final Four. He's killing it. These Crash guys is a real good thing for CMLL because CMLL can get stuck in their ways unless it's guys like Dragon Lee or Roosh.
Yeah, they're very traditional though, and so having the Crash brings a little bit of edge to the product.
PWG feel to a Mexican promotion, a bit more rougher around the
definitely.
edges, a little bit more. Guys like Humberto Carrillo came from there, and a little bit more silly names like Ultimo Ninja. Like they don't really take too much seriousness in all that, but no, it's cool. But CMLL doing their thing. One little thing, Dragon Lee drops one of his titles. He felt that he wasn't giving that title much honor, so he's dropped that. So they'll bring the title they'll bring a tournament to that title. I like that idea. If you've got too many titles around your waist and you're not defending it, drop it, and make a thing out of it. Drop it on TV and say that, so there's a tournament based around that. I like it. That's pretty much it for CMLL. Yeah. I'll touch on a little bit more of that in Loco this week, but
well, before we get to New Japan, because there's quite a bit to talk about, I think with Kazuna Road's, it's a road too, but we've got the G1 announcements that we want to talk about. But first, I want to talk about Grapple, man. Are you on Grapple?
Oh, how good's Grapple?
Grapple's amazing. So Grapple, of course, our sponsors this month, bringing Australian wrestling to the match rating system. So Grapple is basically Rotten Tomatoes for wrestling. It democratizes the ability to rate matches. So no longer do we have to rely on Dave Meltzer as though he is some kind of god gatekeeper guy deciding what matches are good matches. We all get a say, and then people can log on to Grapple and check what the highest rated matches are. Robbie Eagles versus Will Ospreay from PWA Call to Arms, the second one, is actually the 5th highest rated match on Grapple as it stands at the moment.
That's good. I haven't got that far back yet. I've been working my way back. I think I'm up to about halfway through. Haven't got to Call to Arms last year yet, but I'm about, I don't know, probably just after New Year's. But yeah, no, it's that's good. Yeah,
so it's a good way to show people what matches. It's community ratings. It's a good way to show the community rating for the matches and get people around it. So download the Grapple app today. It is free on iOS. It is free on Android. And you can follow me there at Greg Unchained. I know you're B+_big boy, right?
Yep, sure am. Yep.
No CMLL there, but you can rate Ring of Honor. You can rate New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
And there's over like 85 promotions from 15 countries worldwide. It's crazy. It goes all the way back to 1985. So get around Grapple. And of course, check out our sponsors because they're helping us out so that we can bring the show to you guys for free. Unless you want to go to our Patreon, patreon.com/theb+.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey everyone, just want to take a second to tell you about one of our new sponsors, OUTBREAK NUTRITION. OUTBREAK NUTRITION are creating supplements for survival, sharper minds, quicker reflexes, all the energy you need to take your performance to the next level, whether that be on the field, in the gym, on the gaming field. That's right, they have specifically designed gaming supplements as well to help you focus on those late night sessions. They even sell coffee, you guys, at OUTBREAK NUTRITION. You can get coffee pods, you can get coffee beans, you can get supplements for the bedroom as well if you want to enhance your performance there. These are performance enhancing supplements for every aspect of your life, specifically designed by gamers, for gamers, to stay fit and healthy in the gym, to stay sharp and focused on the game, and to dominate in all areas of life. So check out OUTBREAKNutrition.com, and for being a listener of our podcast, they will give you 10% off your order when you enter the code B+. That is BPLUS at checkout. So make sure, if you want to stay on top of your game, if you want to take your performance to the next level, OUTBREAKNutrition.com, enter the code B+ at checkout. Now let's talk New Japan, Mikey.
New Japan. Not a big week as such. I mean, compared to the week before. But yeah, this G1. There's G1 announcements. The schedule's out there. It all starts July 6th.
Yeah. This week is basically like this couple of weeks is like the cigarette break between fuck sessions that are the best of the Super Juniors and the G1.
Well, that escalated. But yeah, no, fuck. Wow. Anyway.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, fair enough. No,
yeah, exactly.
I just did not see that coming. But anyway, no, I agree with you. It is the calm before the storm week. It's because
that's probably a more rational way of putting it.
Yeah. Wow.
But we do have the Kazuna Road. Only real thing to talk about from Kazuna Road, other than the incredible young lions, Yota Tsuji and Yuya Uemura just killing it in their little series that they're doing. I love me some young lion action, which I know you say is weird every time I say it, but I'm gonna keep saying it because the way they do their rookie matches is fantastic. The only other thing really to talk about is the new IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, no, Kazuna Road is just basically, I'm not going to say a throwaway week. It's more of a, they do some title matches. Last year we got the Cobb
and Goto.
And Goto never rematch, and Goto ended up taking it back from him after Dominion. So there's always one or two sneaky little title matches and title changes on Kazuna Road. So yeah. I do say pay attention. Not everything is on New Japan World. There's only just Sunday night and Monday night that just went past that were on New Japan World Live and in English. But everything else has not been, and there's not another one until it's Tuesday 25th, and it's only in Japanese. So the last two shows were, from the sound of it, the end of the English side of New Japan World. So it's one of those shows, like you said, Sunday night, only one or two little things came out of that. Sorry. Sunday night was the junior tag champs. Yes. Junior tag champs in Bullet Club.
So I wonder what this means for Robbie, right? Because obviously he's already sort of on the rocks, so to say, with Bullet Club, and now the other juniors in Bullet Club have gone and won those tag team titles, which means, Taiji's not going to be chasing the junior strap anytime soon. It's just very interesting with his whole situation with Will wanting him to come to Chaos and Bullet Club sort of not necessarily being the home he thought it would be for him. I wonder what this title win means for Robbie Eagles.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got his own title shot in about 10 days.
Festival Hall.
He's got his own title shot. So does he round up the junior, all three of them have a junior title, but which I'd love to see. But, yeah, very interesting. Like, I think we touched on it last week. Robbie could do Bullet Club Chaos. He could be whatever, but I think he will stay Bullet Club, but I don't think anything will happen there for a while. But yeah, it's cool to see the tag titles back in the Bullet Club hold. They haven't had a junior tag titles since the Bucks. The Bucks haven't really technically been part of Bullet Club for about a year or two now. So it's good to see the junior straps back in the Bullet Club family. So now they've got both tag straps. Think about that. Which is Bullet Club has always been famous for.
Which means nothing in New Japan Pro Wrestling, because despite the bookers being two guys that made their bones as a tag team, they seem to not give a crap about the tag team divisions at all.
No, but it does mean a lot of things to the Bullet Club legacy. Bullet Club have always been famous for their tag teams.
True.
They've always been famous for their tag teams. I don't remember a year gone past where they've never had a junior tag or a tag champs. They've always had something where... so again, they've got both titles. And then last night, wasn't really a spectacular show by any means. It was fun, but the Bull Club went for another title last night for the Never 0.6 man. Phantasmo, Chase, and Yujiro Takahashi had a shot up against Taguchi, Yano, and Makabe. What do they call themselves? Most violent players.
Most violent players.
Most violent players. Yeah, they lost here. Yano got chased with the schoolboy. Yeah, so they went for another title, so be interesting. Hiroyoshi Tenzin had his comeback match last night. He didn't pick up the win or the loss here, but his team won, which was fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Kazuna. Look, everything is all about G1. It's the most exciting time of the year for a New Japan fan. I think when we kicked off B Plus last year, we were straight into the G1, right?
Yeah, it was. I think we did the beta casts during the Best of the Super Juniors, and then we went live with the G1.
Yeah. So this year we're going to go hard. I think last year we fell kind of flat around that middle of the show, right? Middle of the tournament. I think.
Yeah, well, there's always a slump. There's always a slump in the middle of the G1.
I don't see that this year. I don't see the slump. I don't see. There's only one or two names in the thing that really cry out like, I don't really want to see your match, but matches here and there. But
right, well, let's do what we did last year, and we won't preview everything because it's a lot to go through, but just you give us who's in the blocks, and then we'll look at the first two nights, because the first two nights and the last two nights tend to tell you the most about the tournament.
Yeah, but let's only talk about the first two nights. I don't want to spoil anything for myself. I want to try to be surprised. No, all right, so let's go with the blocks. Okay, so block A, you have Hiroshi Tanahashi. You have Kota Ibushi. Kazuchika Okada, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. You got Will Ospreay, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, entering the tournament. I think this is the first time the Junior Heavyweight's been in the tournament. You got Evil representing LIJ. You got Sonata representing LIJ. You got Bad Luck Fale representing Bullet Club. Zack Sabre Jr. representing Suzuki Gun. Lance Archer representing Suzuki Gun. And Kenta making his G1 debut. He's done a whole bunch of name blank. What's Noah's tournaments called? I was about to say Champions Carnival, but that's All Japan.
That's All Japan. Yeah, I'm not sure.
He's done about 1 billion of those ones, but this is his first G1, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
But in B block, you got Juice, you got Tomohiro Ishii, you got Toru Yano, you got Hiroki Goto, you got Jeff Cobb, and then...
Which surprised me, Jeff Cobb being in there.
Yeah, which is going to be awesome. There is going to be some awesome matches in. But then these are probably the 5 biggest names for this group. I'm so excited. John Moxley. Holy shit. Tetsuya Naito. Shingo Takagi. Jay White. And Taichi. Oh my god.
I don't know why you put Taichi in that last little block, but okay.
No, because
I feel B block is stacked, though.
Yeah. But so is A block. I mean,
some of those matchups.
I mean...
No, yeah, it's a loaded G1, but specifically for me, B block, I mean, look, you're going to get Shingo versus Ishii, Shingo versus Naito, right? Jeff Cobb versus Ishii, Moxley versus Ishii, Moxley versus Goto, Moxley versus Shingo. Like, those are some fucking matches. Moxley versus Juice again. Juice going to look to get his win back against Moxley. I don't know. I feel like the B block is going to be the block that gets talked about most this year.
Yeah. Just to give you some sort of, for anyone listening, just to give you some more stats. So A block, Okada, this is his 8th appearance in a row for G1. He won 2012 and 2014. Zack Sabre Jr., 3rd consecutive appearance. He's the current British heavyweight champion. Do you think any victory over him in that tournament gives someone the shot at the British heavyweight title going into Royal Quest, which would be interesting. Tanahashi, this is his 18th G1. He's a 3-time winner.
Goddamn.
Won last year's. Kota,
that's a lot of matches.
Absolutely. This is Kota's 3rd consecutive and 5th overall. Evil's 4th. Sonata's 4th. Fale's 6th. Lance Archer, this is his first G1 in 5 years, but he did 5. This is his 5th overall, so he hasn't done G1 in 5 years, which would be interesting. and no Davey Boy because also rumors alongside that Juice rumor that we talked about before is that Davey Boy is finished with New Japan, probably focus more on his MLW stuff, which he has been killing lately. So it sounds like he's done, and maybe Archer's staying with New Japan and continuing his Suzuki.
Yeah.
He was there before
in singles.
Well, he was there before Davey got in. He was brought in as Suzuki's hired gun back in the day. So yeah, going on. Ospreay, this is his debut appearance at G1, obviously. Who this is crazy. I tweeted this out earlier, and PWI even liked my tweet. Will Ospreay is in his career year, 100%. Like this is his best form ever. If he even gets 50% of his wins in this tournament, I'm not expecting him to win or be in the top 3, but he'll get a half decent amount of wins. He's easily top 3 because we were saying the other day. I think it was.
Man, I don't think the wins matter. I think if he goes out there and steals the show as he tries to do every night, if he goes out there, I mean, let's be honest. Whether you like the guy or not, bell to bell, he's a minimum 3.5 star guy.
Oh, minimum, like absolutely.
Yeah, he doesn't have a bad match. I mean, he's opening up the G1 against Lance Archer, and they stole the New Japan Cup. Like for me, that was the best match in the New Japan Cup, which is saying something.
And can you believe this is the first guy that's done New Japan Cup, Best of Super Juniors, G1, and I'm sure he'll be involved in the Super J Cup in 1 year. I mean, we were talking about it last week. How now it's time for the juniors to step aside. Now the guys like Okada and Tanahashi, this is where they put their stamp on that PWI 500, and they storm up the list, and we kind of forget about it. Ospreay gets to do it as well. Ospreay
and Shingo have just gone, fuck that. We want to be in this conversation.
Honestly, you got Kenta making his debut appearance, like I said. Nada,
Moxley.
There's actually 6 debuts all up, so it's Ospreay and Kenta, and then in Group B, it's Moxley, Taichi, Shingo Takagi, and Jeff Cobb making their debuts for a G1 tournament. So,
is this Taichi's first? I guess it is. Yeah, because we talked about last year why he wasn't.
Yeah, the year before he was a junior. So which is interesting.
And people being upset that Minoru Suzuki's not in it. They're making a story out of that. First off, which is great. People being upset that certain other people aren't involved. I've seen a lot of people being like, oh, why does Toru Yano get another spot? Look, not every match can be a 4-star, 5-star classic. Not every match can be go out there and kill yourself. Toru Yano provides a much-needed breakup in the action. His matches tend to be some of the most entertaining on these G1 shows, like especially when you hit that middle point where it's like, I'm so tired of some of these matches. Because they just go out there and beat the shit out of each other. And Toru Yano provides a break and probably like essentially not a night off, but like a light night for the people he's facing, where it's like, okay, we don't have to worry about going out there and jumping on our neck and killing each other for 15 minutes. We can go out there and throw some turnbuckle pads around and have some fun.
And
which when you're doing 18 matches in 18 nights, like, you know what I mean? Like it's pretty important to be able to take a bit of a break.
And I'm sorry, I think so. There's another block that we don't talk about because it's not an official block, but Block C,
the C block.
And I know who's the king of the C block this year.
Who's king of the C block,
Suzuki.
Mikey? Reminder: the C block does not exist.
The C block does exist because if you do well in the C block and you go well through the rest of the year, they consider you for the G1. 3 years ago, Page was the C block guy, and he had such a good year that year with the tag league and that they put him in the G1 the next year, and obviously he's gone now. But it doesn't matter. But it matters for the undercard this tournament because, especially if you're a Suzuki Gun fan, I 100% believe that Suzuki Gun will be no more in about 6 months. It'll be Taichi Gun. This will be the third iteration of.
That's a big call.
It's a big call. It's going to happen. Yeah, Suzuki took it from Kojima when it was Kojima Gun. Back when MVP was around and Shelton and all that. And then I really believe that Taichi is the next leader for this group, even though it's Zack Sabre Jr. It should be Sabre's group, but anyway.
But Sabre Junior Gun doesn't have that. That's good.
It doesn't. But I really Taichi. But that means Suzuki. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, where's Suzuki?" Like Suzuki needs to be in a tournament featuring John Moxley, right? He will be because he'll be in the undercards. So he'll be.
Well, let's fantasy book that, right?
Yeah.
Suzuki, takes his anger out on the young boys, right?
Yep.
He's known for this. Yeah. John Moxley has taken Shota Umino under his wing as his young boy. What happens when Suzuki, puts forth his wrath onto John Moxley's whipping boy?
Yep.
Only I'm allowed to whip that whipping boy, right?
Yep, right.
And so then we're gonna set up a Moxley. I can see it already. We're gonna set up a Moxley versus Suzuki feud coming out of the G1.
Yeah.
Probably for the US title.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. And all 20 members of the G1 roster have a C block guy with them for the undercard. So every tag match
For the tags.
Yeah, it's like because Evil and Sonata won't tag because they're going to be against each other. So Evil and Sonata will have Bushi on there eating their pins, basically. So for Suzuki-gun, there is Taichi in B block, and then Lance Archer and Zack Sabre Jr. in A block. So they're going to all need a tag partner. So it's going to be Suzuki and who's missing from Suzuki? Taka Michinoku will probably be Zack Sabre Jr.'s.
He'll be with Zack.
And then Minoru will be with Lance Archer and Taichi on either rotating night. So that means, let's fantasy book this. We know for the night 1 and night 2. Let's talk about night 1 and night 2. In terms of G1 matches.
So night 1 takes place in Dallas, right? And when I look at this, the big glaring omission is that John Moxley match. We assumed that Moxley is a big draw card for the Dallas show, and he's going to be on it in the undercard, but he's not having a one-on-one G1 match, which I think is a missed opportunity. You could have done like night 1 and night 2 split A block, B block so that you could get Moxley in one-on-one action in Dallas.
There is a G1 Climax showcase on Friday, the July 5th, in Texas. That's at the Bob Duncan Center, but the Saturday night, the first night, is in American Airlines Center, so that is like a proper huge arena for them to sell out.
Yeah, so let's look at the matches. We've got Lance Archer and Will Ospreay, Bad Luck Fale and Evil, Sonata and Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta and Kota Ibushi, and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada. So that's, as far as I can see, that's a triple headliner. Lance Archer, hometown boy, taking on Will Ospreay. That's going to be in a rematch from the New Japan Cup, 4-star classic. Then Kenta and Kota Ibushi, that's a dream match. They're going to beat the shit out of each other, and probably going to see Kota Ibushi try to kill himself with those damn neck bumps. And then Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada, classic. Which one of these three actually main events the show, do you think?
Oh, Okada Tanahashi main events. That is.
I want to see Kenta Kota Ibushi main event, man. I feel like Kota Ibushi is the guy for this year's G1. He's my pick to win.
Oh, okay, interesting there. We haven't got that far yet. Interesting. But
sorry, am I jumping ahead?
No,
I'm jumping
ahead.
No,
you're all right. Yeah, look, Kota Ibushi versus Kenta is mouthwatering, right? That is...
Yeah.
That dates back to, like, Cruiserweight Classic in WWE and even further behind. Like, this is Noah versus New Japan Juniors from about 10 years ago. Now they're heavyweights and, it's fucking amazing having Kenta and Kota Ibushi. But then let's do night 2, which is B block. So it's John Moxley versus Taichi, Hiroki Goto versus Jay White, Yano versus Naito, Ishii versus Cobb, and Juice versus Shingo Takagi. Now, in thinking of that B block, and that's back in Tokyo, that's back in Japan. So the B block guys will be in tag matches the night before. So Juice and partner will take on Shingo and partner, which will be probably Juice and Mikey versus Shingo and Bushi. You'll have Ishii.
Right, so this is where we'll get Moxley and Suzuki.
And Moxley
is what you're saying.
I think, and Moxley's picked his junior already. Moxley and Shota.
Yes.
Versus Minoru Suzuki and Taichi.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. So I guess we will still get a major thing for Moxley in Dallas.
Moxley and Suzuki in Dallas. It will be in tag team form. It will be in a non-important form. Shota will be there to take the pin, so neither three get All three get protected. I think that's the closest you're going to get to Moxley and Suzuki within the next month. Like that's the only time you get Moxley and Suzuki in this, if it goes that way.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
It'll be Taichi and Takumi Tanuka versus Moxley and Shota and ruin that theory.
No, it's got to be Suzuki. It has to be Suzuki. And then you got, I guess, the main events on this night. Probably Juice versus Shingo, Naito versus the Switchblade and Goto could potentially main event as well. But so night 1 and night 2 tend to be the hottest in the opening action, and then we've got the closing nights tell us the most, in my opinion. So when you look at the closing nights, generally these are going to be deciding matches points wise. So we'll look at the final 2 nights taking place August 10 and August 11 in Tokyo. For the A block, we have Kenta versus Zack Sabre Jr. I don't see this being a deciding match. We have Evil versus Lance Archer. Again, probably not a deciding match. Bad Luck Fale versus Sonata. Probably not a deciding match. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Will Ospreay. Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi. Those are the 2 matches to look at. So these are the 4 guys that are probably going to lead the table for A block.
And then on B block tonight, the next night, it's Jay White versus Naito. So there's 2 guys that could probably win B block. You got Shingo Hiroki, Goto, Yano versus Cobb, Ishii versus Taichi, and then Juice versus Moxley. That rematch. Bro.
Yes. So is this where we're going to give our predictions as for who wins each block?
Yeah. Do you want to give our predictions?
Yeah, I think this is where we give our predictions for each block. So for me, I have the A block. I mentioned before, I have the A block as Kota Ibushi coming out on top.
I'm torn. I'm really torn on A block. B block, I have a clear winner. And it's not going to be the man that we think of. No, actually, no, it's not clear winner.
It's not going to be Naito?
That's my choice, Naito.
Of course I thought you would pick Naito.
Only because I want that story to be told. There is rumor that Moxley and Okada is already penciled in for one of the nights. Not saying that now. If you're talking about, now you're talking about Wrestle Kingdom. It's a 2-nighter, and they're going to start booking matches for either night. If they start talking some bookings, you kind of can go, well, that's not necessarily going to be G1 related because they could just do Moxley Okada as a rumor. So. Yes, I would have had Moxley winning this in a heartbeat, really. But Naito, for me, I need Naito versus Okada. It needs to happen. Like Naito needs that revenge. He needs that main event.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the final night, too, you got Moxley and Juice Robinson, right? This will be their second match. And I think this is where Juice picks the win up over Moxley as a spoiler, preventing him from going through to the final. And also meaning he earns a title shot back at the US title. So I feel like Juice doesn't win many matches throughout the tournament, but he acts as a spoiler to Moxley in the closing moments of the tournament, setting up a third match for that US title and keeping Moxley out of the final. Like, I feel like that's a good story to tell.
Here's my roughie for winning A block. Kenta.
Okay. So you're picking Naito versus Kenta as the final. Wow. Presuming Kenta is on form, because we don't know, right? Like Kenta's been gone for 6 years?
5 years.
5 years. 5 years. Kenta's been gone for 5 years. So this is the return of Kenta. We don't know if we're getting the old Kenta. We have no idea. We don't know if we're going to get some kind of hybrid of Kenta and Hideo Itami. Like, he definitely looks better than he did in his last couple of months on 205 Live, where everyone was like 230 Live. He seems to have cut out the IHOP, and he's gotten back on his diet and back in the gym.
I love IHOP.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get the same Kenta. So I don't know if we see Kenta in the finals.
I don't blame him for the IHOP, Billy, because fuck, I love IHOP. If anyone that ever works at an IHOP and you're listening to this, sponsor us. Give me free IHOP.
I don't know why I mentioned IHOP. I don't know. I knew you would go on a tangent with IHOP. And like, I've been craving pancakes last few days. I had pancakes for breakfast this morning, though. But now you're just making me want pancakes again.
Sorry.
God damn it. Let's move past the IHOP talk. All right. And so you're picking Naito versus Ibushi.
No,
I'm picking. No,
Kenta,
sorry, you're
Naito.
picking Naito versus Kenta, and I'm picking another Naito versus Ibushi match where someone may very well die in the ring
But
for the
you know
finals
what?
of the G1, and I say Ibushi wins it
But
and
you
goes
know
on
what?
to the
We
dome.
both have just have not said said either name that dominates these things in Tanahashi or Okada. I mean, surely Tanahashi doesn't win again.
That's true.
Tanahashi in any G1 should be in your top three or four picks to win it, because he should always he's a New Japan Cena. He'll always be in contention for something.
Man, dark horse though. Will Ospreay's in contention on the final night. So when we look at that, it's Will Ospreay versus Tanahashi and Okada versus Ibushi on the final night of the A block. So Ospreay could squeak through and be in the finals of the G1 potentially.
Yeah.
Which if let's say Ospreay goes through, who do you pair him up with from the B block?
Shingo. No.
We just saw that
on a higher state. No. It was Will.
It's got to be Naito, right?
Will and Jay White. We're forgetting about Jay White.
Jay White, yeah. Jay White's a bit of a sleeper too. So there's a lot of ways it can go. But I'm sticking with
the
Ibushi.
king of Bullet Club. I mean, this is their number.
Yeah, but Ibushi signed a lifetime contract. I don't even know if that's legal.
He's going to be there for lifetime, so they've got a lifetime to work with him unless he dies of a neck, something with his neck. But
well, yeah, his lifetime's not going to be very long if he keeps taking bumps like that. But that's the G1, though. I guess we'll cover it more as the weeks go on, of course, as we get into it at the end of July and beginning of August. But that does it for the King of Sports universe this week.
you can find me at B+_big boy on Twitter and Instagram, but I'm bad at Instagram.
I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at DGreg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B Plus Wrestler on Twitter because Wrestler wouldn't fit. The B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do. And thank you so much for listening.